Earlier this year, in the run-up to March town meeting, the question of how to balance creating the availability of pre-kindergarten services to all students within the Taconic and Green Regional School District while maintaining a 5-day-a-week program at the Manchester Elementary Middle School prompted a wide-ranging discussion between school administrators and the parents of pre-kindergarten age children, who, in addition to the educational benefits for their children, were better able to hold down the full-time jobs because of the availability of the pre-kindergarten services. The equity issue, as it was referred to, grew out of the fact that while students in Manchester, Danby, and Mount Tabor had relatively convenient access to the pre-kindergarten programs at the Manchester Elementary Middle School and the Courier Memorial School in Danby, students in other districts, such as Dorset, Sunderland, and the mountain towns of Londonderry, Weston, Landgrove, and Peru, had a more difficult time accessing public pre-kindergarten services. Several private services have sprung up to offer them, but in those cases, parents have to pay out of pocket after their children use up to 10 hours a week of publicly financed pre-kindergarten services mandated by the legislature in 2014 under a statute known as Act 166. The Taconic and Green has also developed partnerships with several of the local private providers to make pre-kindergarten services available to all who seek them, and many area children obtain their 10 hours through those private providers, according to the school district. Eventually, the Taconic and Green wound up maintaining a full-day, 5-day-a-week program at MEMS for 4-year-olds, while the Courier School offers a 4-day-a-week program for 3- and 4-year-olds. And as School Superintendent Jacqueline Wilson has noted, Manchester, Danby, and Mount Tabor have the highest poverty rates within the towns included in the Taconic and Green District, making those services even more important for at-risk children. The topic resurfaced at the Taconic and Green's board meeting on Tuesday, December 3rd, held at the Manchester Elementary Middle School, and the meeting drew a large audience. Balancing the desire for equal access from all the communities the school district serves with the costs the program entail and the number of days such programs should be offered was a part of the discussion. Superintendent Wilson offered 4 options for the school board to consider, ranging from her recommended option of maintaining the 5-day pre-K program at MEMS and the 4-day-a-week program at Courier, through other options, which included such things as providing funding for 20 pre-K hours for 4-year-olds by private providers, to offering only a half-day program at MEMS, and establishing a pre-K program at the Floodbrook School in Londonderry, which would directly address the equity and transportation questions for Mountain Town residents, but would add on more than an additional $200,000 to the school district's budget. The subject prompted a robust discussion at the board meeting.
So from your perspective as our educational leader, what is your best judgment of an effective preschool educational program? How many hours?
I'm not going to be able to answer that simply for you, because I think it depends. And I think it depends upon the child and depends upon the circumstances of that child. So I think for some children, 3 or 4 hours a day is ideal. Maybe they're in a setting where then they are going to have opportunities when they go home, that they'll have supervised play opportunities and other things that are available to them. That is not the case for all kids. So I think it varies. So again, when I spoke to you about my recommendation, it's because I think it's as close as I could get to saying here's opportunity for families. So a family that wants a full-day public program, they've got an opportunity to participate in that. If it's better for them to be in a setting where they have an extended day in a private provider setting, they can have that opportunity. And that's what some families need, and that's what some kids need. So it's not easy for me to say this is the shoe that's going to fit for all these kids. Their readiness levels, they are just developing. It really varies. It really varies. So the recommendation I made to you is a compromise. You know, just about everything you do in this work as a public leader of public education is you are working in a place of compromise.
I think what the balance of that is the ability to attract people here. And we know we do it with BBA. We know people come here and want people to go to BBA. But if we pass a program like this that stays in place and people know that if they come to our district, they get pre-K, they're going to move here when they have infants and they're going to stay from pre-K all the way through BBA.
One of the things that we are charged with by the constituency is being fiscally responsible. Equity and fiscal responsibility sometimes bumps up against each other. So I think that there is a happy medium. It doesn't solve all, but we do have to still remember that our job is to pass a budget that our taxpayers can live with.
Afterwards, we also talked with Roberta and Wayne Devlin-Scherer, former educators who have been strong supporters of pre-K programs and who offered their reactions to the proposals.
We like that the superintendent's proposal includes a 5-day pre-K program for the Manchester and associated communities that are involved in the pre-K center in Manchester. We think that transportation should be provided. It has been provided for many, many years. Parents expect that transportation. And we know people who would not be able to attend this year unless they had a means for getting their children to the after-school daycare centers in the area because most parents work, and that's a real problem. And we hope that the board will approve not only the 5-day program, but transportation as well.
We were excited a lot by the participation and the commitment of people who really have young children. It's difficult to get childcare in the evening, but they came and there were 28, 30 people there participating and committed, and they were from the mountain towns as well as Manchester, and that was a really positive development. I think the board may even think about extending the number of hours to beyond the additional 5 hours that were in that initial proposal last night, so that people will be able to get even more benefits, maybe to a full 5-day program in the mountain towns as well. That's an exciting development, which I hope follows through.
The school board did not make a final decision yet on which option to back, and will revisit the subject again at their next meeting on Tuesday, December 17th, which will be held at the Courier Memorial School in Danby starting at 6:30 p.m. That meeting will be videotaped by GNAT, and you can also watch the full December 3rd meeting here as well. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.